I came across this picture quite by accident. My wife, with whom I lived with for 4 years, traveled a lot for business. I was alone for weeks at a time. I spent many lonely hours watching videos on the internet. That's where I found her. There was no need to see her face. Her vintage wedding set was completely unique. Her late mother's engagement ring on her finger only added to the evidence. The necklace was my last Christmas present. The mesh camisole was my birthday present. There was no condom. Sandra doesn't use birth control. We only see each other 10 days a month. We haven't had sex in 2 months. My rage was almost complete. Using my extensive computer skills, I found the same photo on 3 different sites, with the original one being on the dating site Friend Finder. My life was over. I called her, but no one answered her cell phone or Skype. I called her hotel, but her room phone went unanswered. I started calling her co-workers who were supposed to be with her, but they all denied knowing her whereabouts. I sent her an email to follow up as I frantically tried to contact her via voicemail. A family emergency, a matter of life and death. After 30 minutes of no response, I asked the hotel to send someone to her room. 10 minutes later, my cell phone rang. "Hi, honey, what's wrong? Check your email." I hit send and forwarded her a picture. "Oh, God, don't say another word. Pack your things and get on a plane tonight." "Honey, I can't." "If you're afraid of losing your job, don't worry. Just pack your things and be back here in a few hours." "I can't do that. I'll send the photo to everyone you know at work." "What?" "The morals clause in your employment contract. By 8 a.m., you'll be out of your precious job. Get on a fucking plane." I hung up the phone and started preparing for her arrival. At 8 hours and 5 minutes, I received a text message from her CEO. He informed me that my wife was fired, effective immediately, and apologized that she had discredited herself, our marriage, and the company with her behavior. He bluntly stated that she would never hold such a position again. I couldn't help but laugh at that pun. At 8:15, I called her directly to voicemail. I saw that I had a message with her flight information. I ordered an Uber to pick her up and bring her home. At 10 minutes past 11, she walked up to the front door. I wonder what she thought when the key didn't work. She rang the bell and I waited a few minutes before opening the door. "Please, dear, let me explain." Her gaze slid around the living room. All of her belongings were neatly stacked in boxes. "Sit down, you bloody whore." Sandra sat silently. No tears, no sign of remorse. "What a bitch. You can stay here long enough to clean up your shit. You're not leaving this room. You're not gonna talk to me. No explanations. So make some phone calls and get out of my house. You probably want to know why I headed to the kitchen and poured myself another cup of coffee. Leave your rings on the side table. Now that you mention it, I wonder what your damn mom would think of you right now." There were sobs from the next room. "I didn't care." I reloaded for my next shot. "If the doorbell rings, open it. It'll be for you." Yes, there was that sound again. It was definitely tears, though I'm sure she wasn't shedding them because of our marriage. As if on cue, the doorbell rang. Sandra opened it and saw her father. His eyes were burning with righteous fire. From the other end of the house came the sound of a slap. "From now on, you have no family. Live on the streets. That's how whores like you survive, right? Daddy, please. Your mother would die if she knew about this. Thank God she's already dead. As we speak, your sister is cutting you out of our lives. No one will lift a finger to help you." He turned and walked away. I know his heart was being torn apart. I heard Sandra sit back in her chair. The uncontrollable crying was almost music to my ears. About 20 minutes later, the bell rang again. I didn't even move to answer it. I heard her get up and drag herself to it. "Father Mike, I'm not Sandra White. I'm here to inform you that as of this moment, you are banned from all parish activities, including confession. Based on what I know, I will be meeting with the Archbishop to draw up a bull of excommunication." No, because Mike closed the door himself. I don't know how long he stood at the door. Honestly, I didn't care. Every sob was like a breath rushing into my lungs. Every scream was a jolt to my heart. Finishing my coffee, I walked to the door and saw Sandra still lying there. I bent down and picked her up in my arms and carried her to the couch. I gently laid her down on the couch and stared at the woman I had once loved. There was nothing in her now. No love, no hate, just emptiness. Sandra Nicole Dean White, your career is ruined. Your family has disowned you. Your church has abandoned you. Can you say your life is over? She lay staring into space. She was broken beyond measure. For several minutes, it seemed as if nothing inside her moved. Then came a simple yes. Well, that's good, Sandra. Now tell me, did you have fun with another man last night? Yes. Did you sleep with other men when you were traveling? Yes. Did you sleep with a man every night when you traveled? Yes. Did you ever use condoms? No. Why haven't you gotten pregnant? I have a diaphragm. A diaphragm. Now answer me, Sandra. Why? Because I didn't have you. Are you kidding me? It took me a while to get my rage under control. I got up and walked around the house for about an hour before returning to the living room. I've had other lovers before you. The first time you and I had sex, we made love. Deep, intense, fulfilling love. That had never happened to me before. The months leading up to my promotion were the happiest months of my life. Then I had to travel a lot. It was killing me not having you. I needed you, your touch, your love. I missed you so much that I started doing terrible things to fill the void. And then I couldn't stop. Bullshit! Why didn't you ever say anything to me? We were trying to save up money to have a baby. We needed my income so badly that I couldn't give it up until we saved enough so I could stop working. So you were lonely and selfish? Did you ever wonder what I did while you were gone 3 weeks out of every month? I tried not to think about how lonely you were. I tried to dull my guilt with sex. Oh my God, honey, there were so many men there. Are you sure they were all drug and disease-free? They all had medical certificates like this one. I handed in a letter I downloaded from a swingers website. All I had to do was fill in my personal information. I wonder how many HIV-positive people have been duped in this way. Sandra studied the form and again couldn't stand it and cried. I will go to the clinic later today. If I show any signs of an STD, I will kill you. Do you understand? Please, God, honey, kill me now. Please erase my soul from my life. Free me from this guilt and shame. Please kill me. No, I won't get my hands dirty on someone like you. However, there is another option. Sandra sat up and looked at me. I don't know if it was hope or desperation. I reached behind my back, took her grandfather's revolver and placed it in front of her on the coffee table. I'm offering you the coward's way out. I won't kill you, but I'll sit here and watch you kill yourself. Do you have the strength to end this now, Sandra? Do you really want an easy way out? Sandra stared at the gun for what seemed like hours. I could see the determination on her face. She leaned forward, picked up the weapon and pressed it against her right temple. Tears flooded her eyes as she looked at me. For what? And she knew this had to be the last time. Please try to forgive me. I've been so horrible to you. Find a way to move on without me. Please know that I am so sorry and I love you. Sandra closed her eyes and pulled the trigger. The gunshot sounded unusually loud in the confined space. Sandra collapsed and the gun slipped from her hand. I grabbed my cell phone and dialed 911. Hello, my wife just tried to shoot herself.